a dislocation, subluxation of the atlas to one side. Find a good chiropractor or a good doctor of osteopathy who is familiar with that. 1 or 2, you know when you find a good one? When you only need 1 or 2 treatments. Those who keep you as coming as a patient are not, in my opinion, the good ones, even with the best intentions, because these things can be corrected in at the max 2 or 3 sessions. That's just to give you the idea of check the spine. Don't forget it when you have a patient who is resistant to any kind of therapy. And then you perform any other test you would like to do. Like what we do, my triangle with pathogens, toxins, and stress. You can also measure the stress level, and we do that with saliva. Not a blood test, because blood will keep constant for a long time. But when you measure saliva, it's free hormone. And here we have a patient who is almost suicidal, very bad condition, burnout syndrome. And you see that in all sampling times in the morning, he has too few of cortisol. And when you don't have cortisol in the morning, because waking up is a stress test. When you come from the subconscious world, the first thing you remember when you wake up is who you are, and then you remember where you are. You don't recognize that anymore, but that is just how it should be. And maybe you remember somewhere in history that when you woke up, you just didn't know exactly the place or person. I had the experience where you are. That's a cortisol problem. Babies who wake up crying, not from hunger, but every time when they wake up crying, it's a cortisol problem. And it's easy detectable in saliva. So now I would come to the treatment strategy, but for that we take now a little break again. And if there are no questions, it's better to do that now for this subject. Then I'm happy more to answer.
ここで短い休憩を挟みたいと思います。その前に質問等あればぜひ、お尋ねになってください。特に最後の部分、私個人的にスパインのチェックっていうのは非常に同感でありまして、私自身も似たような経験があるんですけれども、今日の話は、ここの第2セクションのお話は有害金属っていうか金属のお話の質問があればと思うんですけれども、何でもいいです。どうぞ挙手をしていただければと思うんですけれども、いかがでしょうか。じゃあ私の方から、One quick question is how about cheese? You don't drink milk, right?
Cheese is not milk. It is made of milk, but cheese does not contain lactose. Mm-hmm. So as long as I'm not a fan of liquid nutrition. I think that nutrition, even fruit, you should eat fruit as it comes from any fruit source, as it is. That is already sometimes liquid, like an orange. But it's not a good idea to liquefy the orange and then to drink it quickly, because you need everything to bypass the stomach. And when food is liquid, it bypasses the stomach, and especially milk. Fruit is not such a problem, but milk needs its protein. It needs so much acid from the stomach that when it just runs through your stomach into the duodenum, it can already not be degraded anymore. Mm-hmm. And when you eat cheese, especially hard cheeses, they are not so problematic, given, of course, a personal intolerance. But when people eat hard cheese, it stays a long time in the stomach. If stomach function is okay, you digest okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. ということでチーズは OK ということでほっとしたんですけれどもその他質問と、どうぞマイクを渡していただけますか。どうも登坂先生、よろしくお願いします。
ケイ素のことがよくわからないんですけど、ケイ素を測定すると日本人すごく低い人が多いんですけど、アメリカのある先生に聞いたらケイ素は蓄積しすぎると排泄しにくいのでたくさんの取りすぎは危険って言われたんですけど、だいたいどの程度まで取ればいいのか、どのぐらい以上が組織が硬くなる っていうか細胞が硬くなるようなこと言われたんですけど、その辺をちょっと教えてください。取りすぎの場合の危険性。
Yeah, maybe we mean the same thing, but you say silica, and that's very different from silicon. Silicon, maybe we mean the same thing, but silicon is the trace element. Silica is a product of silicon molecules with many other things, which is very detrimental for the body. And no, I think so. Yes, but I wanted to clarify. So I've never seen with the spectrophotometrical analysis a too high amount of silicon. Never once. So I would say that there is, of course, there will be an upper range for to give silicon, but we have seen with even the best forms, we have methylated forms of silicon. They are methylated by algae because standard orthosilicic acid is not very potent, but when it's double methylated, it works better. We see increases, but I have never seen an overdose. Sometimes I see cobalt when I give high amounts of B12. Sometimes it turns from red shortage to red overdose, which is not a problem, but you see a very quick change there. We give, for instance, 20 milligrams a day for a certain period of time. So there I see also elimination. But with silicon, I have never seen a red value in excess. Never. Maybe you have other experience, but I have never seen any problem there.
よろしいでしょうか。はい。ではここで、5分の休憩にさせていただきます。Thank you, Raymond.